Now am I streaming? It says I am. Right here, end stream. There it goes. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm in ultra wide resolution, but I work better that way. The stream might be kind of bad, but it doesn't matter because no one watches it. So I'm really streaming just for my own benefit, to be honest, because I feel like I work better just streaming what I'm working on. All right. So I was working on a synth, um, and I was using, what is it, WinMM or something like that. But they say that I've been looking into WASAPI. I've been looking at a lot of different types of things to use for audio. I started off using SDL, but it had like weird hiccups that didn't make sense. Like, I would multiply the stream by like a value between like a floating point between 0 and 1 just to like change the amplitude, and that like changed the rate that the stream was going at. I don't know if that was because the callback was just messing up just from multiplying. Why would the callback have issues just from multiplying the the stream by like a small scalar like that? That doesn't even make sense. But I used WinMM instead, and because I no one's gonna be looking at this anyways. Um, this just like opens the waveform. This is like audio header, well, audio part. This is just setting the stream. I called it audio, but I guess I should have called it stream. Setting the stream for everything in this project. Sets the volume so you can work with the volume mixer. I forgot the name. If I go to notes, uh, Nick. Yeah, this guy, Nick Walton. Check out his channel. He does makes pretty good stuff, but that's where I like got the information of like how to do this. Not that I like didn't look into this myself because I did. I looked on the site, um, about from the Windows API, kind of like how this works, and um, what was I gonna say? Like I lost my train of thought as I was talking. Actually, like make sure I'm not muted because I know I accidentally muted myself for like almost a whole stream before. I'm gonna turn myself up just a little bit. Also, I can't tell like if I'm clipping too much, and I put a limiter. Look, I put a limiter on, but sometimes I feel like it doesn't really. Maybe I should set the threshold a little bit lower. Yeah, that's pretty high, isn't it? That's a pretty high threshold. I mean, the limiter isn't really gonna. It'll stop like here. Now I can like kind of crush my voice a little bit. Yeah, that seems like a little too low. I don't know. Well, hopefully that's better. I don't know. I don't think being in the yellow is necessarily bad. Um, oh yeah, back to this. You know, it's fine. I was thinking of something, but it's fine. Um, yeah, so the callback buffer gets a specific size of data that it has to write. Um, and you can go over that size. I don't know, you get a limited amount of space in this callback, and this callback is done in a separate thread from what I understand. Look, I can even look it up. Win32 wave out proc, whatever, I spelled it wrong, but it'll find it. Or will it? Okay, thank you for not finding it. It's all right because I can look at what uses the wave out open. There we go, and then it'll show me that. There, that's what I'm looking for. Um, Malfunction function is called with the waveform audio. Yeah. Somewhere it tells you I wish it would like the meaning of the two messages, parameter 1 and parameter 2 depends on the each message. Okay, what is but what I want to know what are the messages for D1 and D2? Where do I look to find that? This is where document like send me a link. The meaning of the message D1 and 2 depends on the message specified by you message. Okay, but what are they? Send me a link to tell me what they are. This is why documentation makes me angry sometimes. Cuz then you got to like read, you got to read everything you don't even need to read just to find out what you want to know. So yeah, the waveform audio thing is legacy. That's why I'm thinking about learning this WASAPI, and hopefully the documentation is a little better. I mean, the documentation here wasn't necessarily bad. It just I want to know what these mean. Where do I look? Waveform functions? I don't know. This is related. Okay, no. Okay. But here, if I go to wave out open, also, like I have these windows that this is like what is it called? Fancy windows and Windows Power Tools. It's cool that I can go like here, if I have a window selected, I can move it around like this and switch the position they're in. But the problem is I have to still like I can't just have a shortcut to switch between the I forgot what these were called, these sections. I'm gonna call them sections. And I can switch between like the things in the sections with page up and page down. So like my terminal's in this section also. But I still want to switch between these sections. Anyways, that's a topic. Function determine the number of wave. Use the function determine the number of wave audio devices. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for just wave out open. I could have swore here. We're using callback function, right? Maybe I should do thread. That might fix my issues, I wonder. Because I wonder what happens if I change that to thread. I mean, right now the issue is on this PC I don't have issues, but on my other PC, if I run this, I have issues. This is the biggest issue with software development in general. And I just want to see what happens. Actually, let me see if I changed any. No, I didn't change any code. So let's just try callback thread. I want to see if it still runs. This isn't a thread though. This is not a thread, but let's just see if it still works. And I wonder, so One Lone Coder, you should check out his channel too. I was checking out his code too just to see what he did. I wonder if he used callback function or thread. Hmm. What? Wave out open. Does he not call wave out? Oh, wave. Oh, whoops. Oh, hang on. Maybe that's why this didn't run. Let me try this again. I wonder if this creates the thread too. It doesn't say that it does, but huh. Okay, I'll try running the synth again. See what happens. I'm not getting any audio. I want that, but that just could be because I'm also streaming. Could be because of that. Let me just try playing this. Okay, yeah. Try running this again. Yeah. That worked. So I feel like you can hear me when I swallow when I'm this close to my mic. It's kind of like weird. See what he used. He used callback function. Okay. Well, he's also not running multiple audio like streams or multiple audio or wave, whatever you call this. I don't know what to call it. Streams? I guess you'd call it a stream. Oh. But yeah, I'm reading from I literally if this will open. I don't know why this froze. Every great once in a while NeoVim will just crash. I have to run config here though. Read wave. Yeah, so I'm literally reading from a file, like a F out open, and then getting the data that way. And it's worked. But yeah, I think I'm gonna try to learn, which is what this stream is about. WASAPI, Window Audio Sessions API. So I was reading a little bit, like I was reading this render stream thingy, but it looks like I was reading it and they loaded data in. They didn't put any data in there, did they? Oh, this is the function, okay. Wait. My source. I was thinking this was main right here. I think that's why. So my source. Can I do some trickery and view this in a different tab? If this was like a frame, like whatever you call that frame thing, I could open it up as a new thing. Well, I could just do this. Well. So I'm looking for this set format. Okay, I didn't even know you could see. I was setting the format not like this with the Windows Multimedia API. I wasn't setting the format like this. I didn't even know there was like a method into the. What are they using? My audio source. What is that? I feel like that's a made up. Like that's just an example structure. I don't think. Oh, I don't like reading C++. I really don't. There's so many like weird things about it. Okay, I don't think, yeah, my audio source is actually a thing. I think it's just something they implemented. Load data. So I think they're just putting, I think all load data is doing is saying load the initial data into a shared buffer. I think that just puts it into a buffer in that structure class. I'm gonna say structure. Render, release buffer. See, release buffer, that's an actual. So it says get buffer method. So to move the stream of earning through the endpoint, the client alternatively calls the method and the release buffer method. The client accesses the data in the endpoint buffer as a series of packets. I know that then you get the, get padding. I'm going to read the rest of this actually because it talks about the play audio stream. No, what is my source, which is a pointer to the object that belongs to the client defined class. Yeah, client defined class. It's not, yeah. My audio source with two member functions, load data and set format. None of the class members communicate directly with any of the methods in the interface. There's no load audio. I could have swore I seen it. Load data. Oh, I'm spelling it wrong. So as long as load data succeeds in writing at least one frame of real data. Duration of 1 second. Okay. So, what do we have? Safe release. I didn't even know it had a method called release. It doesn't have a release. It does not have a release method, which it's calling. Strange. Okay. Let's look up this co-create instance. You're not going to give me a link to this? That's not cool. You're just going to make me have to do this? Associated with the data and code used to create the object. Creates a default initialize and a default initialize a single object of the class associated with. What is that? AC. globally unique identifier that identifies a. So it's an ID, special ID, a unique identifier. So it's like a GUID or whatever, but it's like Windows name for that. 32-bit number and hex. Then a pair of curly braces. Yeah, it's a GUID. It's a unique identifier. What is this called? See, this is GUID. Oh, it turns a GUID. So it's super related to a GUID. That's confusing. That's weird. They use different, I guess they use different types of IDs for different things. But that doesn't make a CLS ID. That makes a G. Okay. All right, let's go back to here where we were at. Oh, now I'm lost. Where was that? Is that not a thing I can call? I know there's a way to. Oh, whatever. Here we go. I'm back. So back to this. Keep closing out of the wrong thing. I don't want to leave everything open, but I also don't want to close out. I think I read this. I don't know why they call it interface. It's a struct, isn't it? It can only enumerate audio input devices. What is an IID? CLS ID and an IID. This is like a lot of. It's an interface identifier, I guess. If that's. Whoops. Okay, thanks. It's not found. See, this is the kind of things in C++. I just like, what is this? What is going on here? Is that what an interface is in C++? I stopped learning C++ because I hated it, but everyone uses it. I think it's from I remember I've learned about interfaces before. If I remember, it's just like I don't know. Yeah. It's like other classes take from interfaces to make their classes. If that makes any sense. So you have a class, but it inherits from the interface. Something like that. But I don't know if this is interface. I just don't know what this stuff is up here. Like, what is this? UID of my lib. Oh, so this is okay. So you're making a Windows library. This is like metadata, I guess. And you want to get the UUID of the library that you just made. I'm guessing. A library block created with the module attribute. So many things I don't know. Okay, this is the module. That's the thing I didn't know. Module attribute. C++. Oh, I don't like it. I mean, it is cool. I mean, deep down inside, I think it's cool. but it's like extra stuff you have to think of. And I just want to write the program. I don't want to think of extra like syntax. I really don't want to think of this extra syntax all the time. Okay. I am nowhere near learning what I actually want to learn because I need to learn all this extra stuff. Defines a library block in the IDIL file. What is an IDIL? You can specify certain things. Okay, you can specify UUID. Does this say module? Yeah, it does. Okay. So this is the module attribute. Now I know. And this gets a UID from the module because that's an interface. So, okay, now I know. This thing is a module. I am device enumerator. And I'm getting iAudio client, the ID of that interface, the ID of that interface. Reference. Time. Why is there so many different types? Why not just say like uint 32 or something like that instead of making me look up what type this is? Long, okay. I looked this up already. Okay, what are its methods? Does it like go into its methods down here? Enumerate endpoint. Device enum audio endpoints methods. Is that what it uses here? I'm gonna have to do the same thing I did before and just copy this. Should just keep it. And I could do set file type. It doesn't like that. There we go. What methods does it call? Get default audio endpoint. Let's look at that. Yep, it's a method from the IM whatever enumerator achieves an audio endpoint for the specified data flow direction and role. Data flow input. Okay. Data flow direction for the endpoint device. E-render. That's what they put here. It's not defined anywhere. The color should set this. Color should set this parameter to one of the following two eData flow enumeration values. So that's one of the enum values. E-render, e-capture, e-all, okay, that's just the count of everything in the enum. E-render. Audio stream, I'm going to write on here. Change director. Why is it every time I hit? Oh, I know what's going on. My keys are a little messed up because I have to swap the keys because um, tiny keyboards put the escape key above tab, but I like tilde to be there because I don't have to reach all the way across to press tilde. So I just swapped them. Yeah, swapped escape and tilde. So change direct home / development. Let's just call this a research. What is it called? WAS API. Oh wait, I need to make that directory. Let's just do something easier. WAS API. Make directory rendering stream. Right as that's not C, I guess. Sweet. Audio rendering stream, audio data flows. Okay, let me write down what I know. So CLSID is a unique identifier in a special format for Windows things. Good enough definition. The UID of actually it doesn't work. Oh, doesn't work for C files. Okay, I gotta do something. That over there. It's here we go. Fenced languages. This causes issues. Lua seems to cause issues for some reason, so I'll just remove that. There we go. It's all right because Lua isn't that crazy of a language anyways. Can I do like a refresh environment? Isn't that a thing? Refresh NeoVim instance. Whatever. I'll just close it and reopen it. Okay, well, syntax is kind of poor, but whatever. Actually, it's really poor. wonder if I change it to CP. It works. UID of gets the UUID for a interface from an interface. Gets the UID from an interface that has the method attribute. Wasn't that what it was? And 32 the method attribute, something like that. I just see, I shouldn't have closed all this. Module interface that has a module. I'll put this link here. Okay. No, I'll put links down here. What is this called? C++ module. Okay. CLSID. Yeah, this this syntax highlighting is like really bad. Like nothing is highlighted. I mean, it's good enough, I guess. Because it doesn't know what this is. It doesn't know what this is. It knows that these are preprocessors. No, just it's all right. Why did it do that? Boom. Then that did not work the way I wanted it to. Okay. Doesn't know how to wrap the text when it's not actually in. And then render is a enum value. You know what? I'll just leave all the comments on the side like this. Who cares? Whoops. And another enum value. I'm guessing the prefix lowercase e is for enum values because Microsoft likes to do um, those naming conventions. I forgot the name. Forgot the name for the naming conventions. There's a naming convention for the naming convention. If you didn't know. So it's already been like an hour. Look at my view count. Look it. I'm so glad that you guys are watching my videos. Look at that. Yay, no one cares when you program live stream. Okay, so now I need get default audio endpoint. It's in the role. What is the role? So this is the role endpoint. The caller should set this parameter to one of the EROM values. We got eConsole. Actually do this. Put it in the A register. Game, system notification, sound, and voice settings. So that's the role. Let's see what enum erender is part of. No. Okay. And then what is this? Pointer to variable into which the method writes the address of the IMME device. Is there a defined IMM device in here? Yeah, right here. It's not initialized to anything. I'm gonna look this up again. Creates a default initialized single object of a class associated with a specified CLS ID. Okay. Get class object. Okay. That might be helpful in the future. Whatever. That works. So we need a numerator device. So this kind of like creates an enumerator device. All right. And then puts it into this enumerator pointer. I'm just going to guess here and say that's what it does. This is really weird. Like, it's grabbing it from an instance. And it looks like instances are from C++, but not instances, but Huh, that's really interesting. Huh, that's a really weird way to do it. But anyways, as I was saying before, I tried to use port audio, but no matter how hard I tried, like, well, not no matter how hard I tried, I just I followed the documentation and it wouldn't compile, it didn't compile right, and then I would have to learn CMake. Like, I don't want to learn CMake, and then on top of that, I would have to use Visual. It showed a different way with Visual Studio to compile. I don't want to use Visual Studio, and then it was showing me like a bunch of different tools I would have to use to compile this, and I'm like, oh, you got to have MySys, which is like uh, a different form of a Windows terminal to use MinGW. I'm like, I don't want to use MinG. Why is this all? What do I have to use all these extra tools just to compile this? I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I'm not using that. Like, that's too much extra stuff that I don't want to keep track of. So I'm like, Windows API it is, because um I can use the CL command. I think it's called MSVC, Windows. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, MSVC compiler. I can use MSVC compiler without having to use Visual Studio. I don't have to worry about extra weird bugs and having to use like extra things on top of the code I'm writing that I have to keep track of. Like, now I have to keep track of my sys, whatever the heck that is called, the terminal for MinGW. Now I have to keep track of MinGW, make sure I'm using the right things for MinGW, make sure it works with Windows, make sure it's compatible. Yeah, that's a pain in the butt. Like, I just want to, like, that's too many things to keep track of. So I might as well just learn the Windows API. I try to keep, like, I learn complicated things, but I try to keep what I'm learning. Like, I try to learn not to learn unnecessary things at the same time. Or, yeah, not to make it extremely, out of the way unnecessary. That's why if I write a video, I don't put everything into like a class container, a class, and then, show the code. Like, no, that's if I'm writing making a tutorial and I put everything into a class or class, and I show you, oh, hey, look what I did. Well, now you got to understand how the class is structured, and you have to take time to understand that. When if it's something simple, don't put it in a class. Just try to get it to work without putting it in a class or making some weird abstraction for it. Get it to work without all the abstraction, and then add the abstraction later if you need it. You're just making things more complicated, and you have having to think about more things. Um, yeah. Co-create instance. Oh yeah. Null indicates the object is not being created as part of an aggregate. I don't even know what an aggregate is. If non-null pointer, the aggregate. Okay, so well, I guess we don't have to worry about it because it's not an aggregate. CS interface to identify interface objects. I don't know what this is. Interface, the reference to the identifier to the interface to be used to communicate with the objects. See, at that point, if I have to, put extra things into making, for port audio or whatever other audio thing, into making it work, instead of just actually learning how it works, isn't that kind of a waste of time? Because I'm not spending any time actually working on the code. I'm just trying to spend time on running something to get the code to work without actually working on the code. With this, I get to spend more time working on the code without having to spend on extra time learning how the code works, because that's a waste of time. Okay. Values that are used to act. What is CX all? Whatever. Keep hitting bookmarks. CLSCTX all. Huh. Okay. Not here? That's cool. Well, anyways, I get the gist of, I think, is what's happening with this co-create instance. Address pointer that receives interface request. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's right here. I don't think all is on here still. So what is this? This is values that are used to activation calls indicate the execution context which the object is to be run. You know that. Oh, okay. Ah, so this is just saying you want to run it for everything, I think. Okay. Now we're on to the RIID. Is this does this on the heap then? Contains PPV contains the request interface pointer. Does that mean it allocates memory? I'm gonna say yeah, I think. Oh, and then you release it with this function, explaining why the release was there. Okay. So that means this had to be called and release called on it, which it does because safe release calls it. I understand. Okay. My explan. Did I spell explanation wrong? I think there's an I in there. Yeah, there is, but I guess I did spell right. My explanation. It is convenient to use when you need to create only a single instance of an object on a local machine. So you're finding an object and you're creating an instance of it. Why not just do... I don't get why you wouldn't just do something like this. Whoops. Like, instead of doing that, just... Wouldn't that just create an instance of it? And then you just go like... Right? To get the pointer value? I don't know. It seems like a roundabout way. I mean, maybe it's more efficient for some reason. I mean, but then with that, you'd create as many objects as you want. I'm in research. Wait, what? Oh, I did releases and not research. Whoops. There we go. Fixed. Man, that's a lot of time spending on this one thing. Okay, so I'm just gonna define it. I don't know. I guess that's my best definition. And it returns null if it failed. Okay. Ha. That seems like a super weird roundabout way to do things, but it's probably just something way beyond my understanding, I guess. Get default audio. Oh yeah, I already defined that. Is there like a way to like specify the audio endpoint instead of getting the default one? No? See, I think that's what I was using before. I was using devices before. Get the default console playback device by making the following call. This is okay. That's what we're doing. Code fragment variable HR is the result. It's kind of weird that we're still using, what is IMM? Is that the same thing as the multimedia library I was using before? anyways, it fills the IM device buffer with the default audio buffer. Okay. Now we gotta look for activate. Honestly, in a weird way. Oh, I can't just look up activate like that. I think I can look it up like this. Activate when 32. Let me. Oops. iAudio client. Yeah, that's what we're using, iAudio client. Okay, so no restrictions. Set to null to activate. Excuse me. Yep. Gotta call release. Um, I'll write for co-create anything made with co-create. Oh, co-create instance must Oh, receive the stream format from the audio engine. Pointer to a variable. Oh, I know what the wave format is. I've used this before for the WinMM stuff. Pointer to a pointer variable. Oh, it's a double pointer. Into which the method writes the address of the mix format. This parameter must be valid, non-null pointer to. When Kate's the stores is. Need to call code task mem free. Did they call that? Ah, all right. Oh boy, there's a lot of more to read. The client can call this method. I don't think I did initial. We didn't initialize here. Oh yeah, we did. It's the next thing. Method when creating. The mixer format is the format the audio engine uses initially for digital processing of shared mode streams. Format is not necessarily a format that the audio endpoint device supports. That's weird. It uses it but doesn't support it? Doesn't even make sense. Sample the For example, to facilitate digital audio processing, the audio engine must use a mix format that represents samples as floating point values. Okay, if the device supports only integer PCM samples, then the engine converts. Oh, it converts stuff. I see. Converts the samples to or from integer PCM values at the connection device, however, to avoid sampling. Supported format. Okay. Ah, okay, that's cool. It has a different format. I mean, it's not cool. It's kind of weird, but all right. Now to see what initialize does. Actually, I want to look at the interface. Enables a client to create and initialize an audio stream. That's the interface we. That's the. I guess we're gonna fill this buffer or this interface with activate. The iAudio client interface enables the client to. So you can initialize an audio stream between the audio. Okay. Yeah, that's what we're doing. The activate. Whoa. Hopefully I don't have a freaking virus. I don't know what that was. So, what is it? IMM device enumerator. No, wait. Yeah, we already looked up an activate. Yeah. Whoops. Oh wait, no, that's iAudio client. So we put in share mode, sharing mode for the connection. Exclusive shared mode. Okay. So what is 0 then? None of these are 0. I'm just going to ignore it for now. And is expressed in 100 nanosecond units. It's nanoseconds is a billionth of a second. I forget. Billionth of a second. Yeah. All right. duration, period. This parameter can be non-zero in exclusive mode. All right, so identifies the session that the stream belongs to. If it's not set, it opens up a new session. Makes sense. These are the error codes. After activating the iAudio client interface on the audio input. Once and only once to initialize the audio streams between the client and the device. Audio device is already open in shared mode or device. Well, that makes sense. Wow, it's a lot of writing just for those few things. I might end the stream right now. Continue this later. Just I mean, I'm not doing all the talking. I'm just kind of learning the WSA WAS API. Is that what it's called? I think so. WAS API. Yeah. APIT. Whoops. No. Yeah. So still learning about the WAS API. Just to get better control of audio. So that's all I'm doing today. Just